Hello, family. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy E, the Dividend Passport Bro, back with another video, guys. Today is Sunday, right? March the 30th, 2025. So tomorrow, Monday the 31st, right? But as far as I'm concerned, it's a new week and new strategy. Well, same old strategy, but new money coming into the portfolio, right? Because it's a new week. So when I say new money coming into the portfolio, I'm talking about Friday, right? Because we already got paid for this week, or stuff is still processing in for this week. We already know how much money came into the portfolio, but you know what? Monday we start seeing how we're gonna attack the week, right? If I'm gonna add more money to my portfolio to buy more stuff, how we gonna handle margin calls. You know what I'm saying? How we gonna handle that, right? And if we can survive this week, right, with no margin calls, heading into the week that we get paid from Misty, it's gonna be so amazing, right? If crypto can hold on to what it's doing and all the other little stuff that goes together to make Misty pay some decent dividends, we down like at the bottom of the barrel right now. So if Messi can come back and do some stuff, right, and get us back over the hump, that would be amazing. But for now, we're just trying to survive. So if we can get a decent 15, 20 grand dividend from Misty, that would be amazing, right? Because that would like set us to the next level. Guys, if you are here on this channel, right, subscribe to this channel and watch this channel, that means you are interested in financial freedom, dividend investing in real estate, all of that good stuff, right? So welcome to the channel. Thanks for liking and sharing the content, okay? And it is what it is. So today we're just gonna talk about whatever I've been dealing with the past week, and I got a story for you guys. Sometimes it's just good to have extra money, okay? That's why I would like to travel with multiple credit cards, because sometimes one don't work and the other one step in and help you out, guys. You won't believe what happened to me. So I bought my flight to the DR, right? Heading to the DR, and guys, this is not financial advice. Heading to the DR, right? I get to the airport, and I was like, okay, to make sure, I opened my mouth, said, yeah, I got a carry-on bag. She's like, oh, let me see. It's a big bag. I said, no, it's just a regular carry-on bag. She said, oh, well, sir, you didn't pay for a carry-on bag. Now, I know I paid for a carry-on bag, okay, because I checked the thing. The difference is, I was like, well, I'm not going to have problems with these folks. So I didn't. Usually I will print out the ticket that says carry-on and all the stuff in there. I just checked in with my bag with the regular stuff. There is no thing for carry-on. I get there. She's like, no, sir, you don't have a carry-on. I'm like, okay. And before I left the house to go to the airport, right, the carry-on, I check online, the carry-on was $75. And when I look at my thing, they have a thing that said carry-on, because I bought the regular ticket, right, without carry-on, and then I added the carry-on. So, okay, so common sense is, if you add a carry-on, right, that's if you add one carry-on and you go on a round trip, it's supposed to add the carry-on to both trips, right? Okay. So I get to the airport. She said, no, sir, you don't have carry-on. So we're going back and forth. I'm there for about 30 minutes. I say, you know what? To fuck this shit. I don't have time. Let me just pay for the stuff. Guess how much it is? $110 for a carry-on bag. Okay. So I'm trying not to lose my cool, because I already paid for my flight. I can't cancel, right? I could cancel and stay here, right? Push come to shove, I have to get a apartment, because I rented my apartment while I was gone. So the people already checked in, so I can I got to go back, and no, the people already checked in. Is 8 o'clock at night. My flight is at 8 at night. I can say, oh, let me go find an apartment at 8 o'clock at night. Usually I'll probably be in an expensive hotel somewhere, spending all of the money that people spend to check into my apartment. So I'm like losing my cool, but I'm still smiling, right? I get the lady money. She charges on my card. I get to I get in there or whatever. I get to where I'm going, and I start looking for the ticket. I'm looking for the ticket. I find my stuff. I have the check-in bag. So I said, okay, well, I got the check-in bag, right? On my way back, I was like, I got my ticket with the check-in bag. I get back to the airport today, and she see my bag. She said, "Oh, you got a carry-on?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, well, you got to pay for it." I'm like, "What you mean?" I said, So I show her the thing that I pay for. She said, "No, sir." She said, "Yeah, you pay for that, but when you're going back, you got to pay again." I said, "But it's a round trip ticket, ma'am. If I buy a carry-on for a round trip ticket, there's only one option to add a carry-on. There's not two options for each flight to add a carry-on." I said, "You work at the airline, but have you never flew?" I'm getting smart. Right? You never flew your own. Long story short, I had to pay another $110. Right? So now she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give you the receipt. You can call the help desk because there's nothing I can do at this point right here because they're showing that you have a ticket. You have a carry-on coming in, but you don't have one going back." I said, "Yeah, but I had to pay for the carry-on that the lady said I didn't have." She said, "Yes, sir, I couldn't help you." So anyway, she said, so I said, "Well, you gonna upgrade me with all this stuff that's going on?" Yeah. So they upgraded me to first class for a 2-hour flight, right? They upgraded me to first class for a 2-hour flight, literally. And when I got in the flight, there was nobody sitting in front of me, right? I was sitting on the second row, and there was another lady on the other side, and a couple of people behind me, and I was sitting in first class, right? It was like 4 people, 5 people in first class, right? So I'm sitting there. So I don't drink, right? I don't drink, but I order a glass of wine, because it's free. I order a glass of wine, international flight. They pour my wine, right? I have my water bottle. And I pour the wine. I'm just petty. I'm just petty as fuck. Okay. I pour the wine in my water bottle. That water bottle almost gone. I put the wine in my water bottle, and then he came back. He's like, "Sir, you need another glass of wine?" I'm like, "Yes." He gave me the wine, and the lady sitting there looking at me, and I pour in my water bottle, and then probably like 15 minutes later, I went to the bathroom and dumped it all out in the toilet. So I was like, okay, I had 2 glasses of wine. I mean, the bottle of wine is what, $10, whatever. I spent $100 some. But the fact that I got that, I was like, okay, at least I got something, even though I don't drink, right? And then I came back, I had a 2 Coca-Colas because I drank the first one, and then I had another Coca-Cola, right? That's what I really drink, Coca-Cola. So that's the story I have for you guys today. So guys, I said this: be prepared all the time because when you travel outside the United States, the one thing that I love about the U.S., right, is our customer service. Right, I can call no matter. I can call the worst airline, Spirit, Frontier. I can call them, and compared to those customer service there and the customer service here, it's completely different. Okay, because if you have somebody on the phone, if they don't know what they're doing, and if you ask for somebody help else, they're just gonna hang up on you. That happened to me numerous times. They'll be like, "Oh, sir, I can't hear you. I can't understand what you're saying," and they'll just hang up the phone. Then when you call, you have to start over again. I've done that a couple of times, or they just get to the point where they get frustrated and they're done with you. But everything else about this place, I love. Okay, so I just want to share that story with you guys. I know it's not have nothing to do with investing, but guys, when you make your money, right, and you want to be a dividend passport bro like myself, or dividend passport sis, whatever you want to call it nowadays, right? You want to be able to travel off of the money you're making, right? This is what you do. Now, I'm sitting here today, I'm like, man, right? I got my friend went to my house, right? And he's like, "Man, there's a notice on your door. Uh, they're gonna disconnect your go into or already disconnected the gas in the house." I'm like, okay. I'm like, disconnect the gas. I'm like, "Well, I've been paying the gas bill. I ain't been paying the goddamn gas bill. I paid one gas bill in the last 4 months since January, since December. Was the last time I paid a gas bill. Now, when I send the bills, when I send a payment, I usually go into my little spreadsheet and put it in, but I never go back to the bank account to make sure that the stuff processed, right? For whatever reason, right? My gas bill, my water bill, those things they've been going through for the last 3 months. So either when it's time for them to go through, either there's not enough money in the account, or something else is pending that's causing the funds not to go through. And I'm like, they cut my goddamn gas off, right? Because nobody in the house, the air conditioner is off. There's no, this house is hot in Atlanta right now. The, there's nobody cooking, none of that stuff. And they turned my goddamn gas off, right? So I went ahead and paid the money. When he told me, I went ahead and paid yesterday. And then the water bill, I had to pay that too. So I ended up paying, what was that, $300 some dollars, light and not light, for gas and water. He's like, what about the light bill? I said, no, the light bill I pay differently. The light bill I go through their system and pay through there. So they automatically get it to my card. They get it to my debit card. So that is automatic. So I don't have no issue with that. And they just sent me a notification for my light bill. I have to be paid. I already paid that. So I pay all of the utilities. I'm like, I don't want to get back to the U.S., right, with my daughter, right, my 2-year-old Energizer Bunny, and there is no light in the house, or there is no hot water. I mean, she's been in Colombia, so she don't mind cold water. I don't think she. But at night, go we fly in. We get to Atlanta at night, probably like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So and I did her global entry thing. I don't know if she's gonna get it before we leave. I checked the other day; they haven't approved it yet. So once they approve it, then when we go back, they're gonna we're gonna go to an interview, whatever, for her. But she's 2; she can't even talk. So that's gonna do is just take her picture, and she's gonna get her global entry card in the mail. So that way, next time we fly, and that global entry come with TSA pre-check, so she get a free TSA pre-check when you do global entry. So guys, even if you don't need global entry, spend the extra money to get it. If you try me out of the U.S. 3 times a year, I think it's worth its price in gold, depending on where you're flying into. Especially if you're flying to like Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the airport is a beast. So TSA pre-check is the best way to go, in and out, boom, boom. If not, don't say I didn't give you free advice. Okay, that's free advice, guys. So, I did her global entry, and that come with a TSA pre-check. And for kids under 18, I believe it's free. I know for my daughter it was free. So I think for under 18 or 18 and under, it's free, I think. Now I got to do it for my 18-year-old, my 19-year-old. I got to do that for her because she would be traveling back with me to Colombia in June, I believe, for a couple of weeks, only for a couple of weeks, and then I'm gonna send her butt back. She'll come for a couple of weeks. We'll be here for a month. Coming for a couple of weeks. She's gonna spend 2 weeks with me, maybe a week and a half, and then I'll ship her back. And then Evie go to her mom for a couple of weeks, and Daddy can do his shenanigans, for a couple of weeks, and then we bounce back to the. So, guys, this is what's going on me today. I wanted to share that story with you guys. So if you here and you want to get rich quick, you're in the wrong place. If you here because you want to retire early, faster, you're in the right place. Because investing in high yield dividend, right? We invest in high yield dividend. I like to use this tracker. It's a different tracker, right? Compared with the other trackers. As you can see, my portfolio is down big time. Okay? Big time is down. But we have a lot of stuff in this portfolio. And most of the stuff, now I said most of the stuff that's down big time, right? Those are the yield max portfolios, right? My position in yield max. Those are the ones that are down like crazy, right? But these are just dividend payouts for tomorrow coming in. Some of the stuff, it's not a lot of money, right? but it's $5, $10, $3, $4. The sucker add up, man. That's 200 something dollars worth of dividend that's gonna pop. Oh, I got virus protection detection going on. That's gonna pop in tomorrow, right? And guess what? That's not the dividend that came in on Friday. This is just something different that's coming in tomorrow. So, guys, as we continue to grow the portfolio, right? For me, like I say, I am ecstatic to be where I'm at right now. For me, the goal is to get everything out under control, get out of margin calls, and stay off of margin calls, like being in the principal office, right? Stay off margin calls, right? But I can't really control that. Um, that depends on the market, right? The only thing I can do now, um, I got about what 30, 40 grand sitting down that I can put into the portfolio, and I can either buy more positions that will pay more dividend. But then if we get to where we have a margin call, then where I'm going to pull money from, right? So and the good thing about it is I'll be back home in a few days, right? In 5 days I'll be back home, so it make it easy for me to access money, right? Over here I can't just walk into the bank and pull money out. Everything I got to do is online, and sometimes it can be challenging to just I can pull money from one bank and go to one bank and deposit instead of if I need to pull money from Navy Fed or Bank Colombia, um, whatever Fidelity Bank, right? And I do that online. It's going to take 5 to 6 days. But I could take money from one bank and just go across town and deposit into the other account, and that money would be available right away. So that's the difference when I'm not there compared to when I'm outside the country. Everything takes, as far as, especially moving money from one bank to the next, um, it takes, some time, right? That's why setting up your bill pay in your investment accounts that pay your investments, and you want to use that money to pay your bills, it's better to set it up there. So you're not, if I get paid for my paycheck, I got to transfer my paycheck to Charles Schwab to cover my card note, or move money from Fidelity to Charles Schwab to cover my card note, right? Um, but if I can speed up the process because once the portfolio starts generating over $1,000 a month, then I'm not going to be putting money in there like that to cover my car payment anymore, right? Because once I pay the car payment, I have $300 to reinvest into the portfolio, right? It takes a little longer, but that's the process, right? And at some point, right, um, when I decide to move abroad 100% of the time, 100%, 100% of the time, then I have to make a decision what I do about my primary resident, right? Am I going to sell it? I don't really want to rent it out because I don't want to deal with the headache. I have one tenant right now that I have for 4 years, and every blue moon she will call about something that, it's like common sense would be like, well, she'll be like, oh, I need this fixed. I don't know, so maybe she just want me to come to the house. But I need this fixed, and I'll be like, okay, well, what is like the last time she's like, I need this fixed. She sent me, I have an issue with the toilet. I'm like, have you tried this? Yes, I try everything. And she's a little handy, so sometimes she might be doing stuff right, or sometimes she's doing it wrong. I don't know. And she's like, well, I try everything, but it's not working. Can you send somebody out here? So I said, okay, sure. So I sent her the next message. I said, so what is your availability this week? I get crickets, no response. Okay, it's been 5 days. So what I'm gonna do, the week starts tomorrow. I'm gonna be running back and forward, getting Evie, doing all this stuff to travel. So probably about Wednesday, if I haven't heard from her this week coming up, maybe Saturday or Sunday. Maybe Sunday I'll send her a message Sunday evening, be like, hey, what's your schedule look like next week? So, I can come out and take a look because that'll be another week past. And I told her, I said, look, it's the toilet, right? It won't flush. Fill the stuff with water and just flush it that way, old school. Maybe she didn't get that, what it mean by old school. But, it is what it is. But guys, so if I can sell that property, right, if I can sell that house, that condo, and take 100 grand, right? My Robinhood portfolio right now is that's what is in there. I got two holders in Robinhood. This is other people's money because it's not my money. I got 3%, 3 cents dividend, right? And 0.03, 3 cents dividend, excuse me, coming into the portfolio. So let's say I sell my real estate in the US, right? I sell my real estate in the US. I take 500K and throw it into the market, right? No, I probably won't throw 500K into the market because if I move to Colombia, right? Um, I already know where I stay before in where I live in Villavicencio. So I probably will just buy another property there. Well, not probably, I will because I'm actually going there to look at a couple of condos. That's under it's about 500 some thousand pesos, 500 million pesos, 520 million pesos, more or less, right? It is brand new. So the option I'm going to try to get is, and you got to put down 30%. So 30% is about 150 something million pesos, right? That's about 30 something $1,000. They want 30 some percent, not 20 something. They want 30, 35% or 30%. So if when I go there and have a conversation with them, if they say yes, we go finance you. If they're gonna finance me the difference in their money, it might be a better deal for me to get a new construction, right? It's bigger. It have 3 bedrooms. It have a sitting room, and they have another room that can be used as an office. So let's say it can be a 5 bedroom if I wanted to close those other 2 rooms out. It can be a 5 bedroom or a 4 bedroom, and I can still have my office, right? So of course I don't need all that room. It's just me for now. And then when my daughters are in town, now this is not touristy, so it's not like it's near the beach and all of that stuff. But this is what I want, right? So I can be like, okay, well, as the market start to go up, right, I can pull 30 some $1,000 in 1 month and make a payment, make a deposit. Or I can just put it on a credit card, right? Because I can make a deposit on a credit card. So I can take a credit card and make a 30 some $1,000 deposit, right, to my credit card, make a payment, and then pay that credit card off in a month, 2 months, or whatever works, right? For me. So that's the option. Okay. But as you can see right here, right? Push, if I can push $100,000 into my Fidelity portfolio right now and put another 100, say if I can take 300K and spread it across these 3 portfolios right now, right? 300K, 100 in each, right? Or even forget about 100 in each. Let's say I put 150 in here, put 100 there, and I put 50 here. So that's 300K. Okay. This portfolio here would take care of my daughter's tuition until she's finished school. It would take care of her tuition when she go to law school. And after she's done, it will generate income for me and her sisters until she get to university, right? Or she gonna go to private school, that's gonna take care of that, right? Now this portfolio, right, having 50K, can you imagine me throwing 50K into this portfolio, right? It's already averaging $600 a month, right? If I throw another 50K into this portfolio, right? Right now, with the value of the portfolio around 9,000, right? What is it? 9,000 something right here. The value 9,000 is down a couple $1,000s. If I can throw $50,000 into this portfolio, right, and me not having any expenses in the U.S., right? This is me selling both my properties in the U.S., selling all my cars. Right? Why does this thing keep popping up? I do this all the time when stuff is updating. This portfolio right here, this will generate me about what, 3,000, almost 4,000, 5,000 a month, right? 5,000 a month. This will be my cost of living portfolio because this is ChargeSwap. I can access my ChargeSwap account here easy. I have a Fidelity credit card that I use all the time when I'm in Colombia, right? And all of the other credit cards that I have in the US that I really don't need, uh, I will get rid of. Anything that don't pay, that I can't use, like 50 grand a month, 50 grand limit, a minimum under that, I'm going to get rid of. Right? So that will give her a lot of credit cards. And maybe I'll be down from having freaking 20 or 30 of them to maybe like five or six credit cards. Right? And then when you look at the portfolio, right? So if I throw 150 grand in here, that's a little bit, that's like almost, I think my margin right now is about 260,000. So if I throw 50 grand, $150,000 into this portfolio right now, right, that's going to drop, that's going to drop the margins that I have, right? Because, okay, margin goes down, I get more margin to invest, right? But what options with Fidelity, right? It gives me, when I'm buying, it gives me the option to use margin or investment. I can't even talk. Margin investment or my own cash. So I would take $50,000 of my own cash and reinvest it back into the portfolio without margins, and let the other 100K sit there to bring down the margins, right? And then that would increase my income, of course, maybe about another $3,000 or $4,000 a month, right? That would increase the income of $3,000 or $4,000 a month as we wash the margins. And if the market starts to take a turn for the better, then we can, boom, get to the moon, and we will be at that 2 million in no time. Okay, guys. So it's a lot of things that can happen, but anything is possible, right? Because we got that little, what do you call it? The magic ball. I don't have a fucking magic ball. If I did, my portfolio would be doing a lot better than it is right now. But, I say that jokingly. But we need to grow the income, but at a safer pace. And at some point this year, right, if I can keep the income steady, right, and steady for a certain period of time, my goal will be to use the income as they come in. Maybe I'll buy a little bit, but to use the income to get rid of margins, right? To use the income to get rid of margin. Now, at some point, I might just open another Fidelity account without margins, right? And stop buying stuff in there, right? And let this one take care of itself. At some point, that's probably what I would do. You guys will still, I will still talk about my Fidelity portfolio. I'll be talking about two Fidelity portfolio now, but the one portfolio will be like a margin killer portfolio, right? Because we just have this portfolio there to take care of margins, right? When we go past where we can pull money out that we're not pulling off margins, we'll pull money out, put it into the other portfolio, right? And as we go, we have that buffer, we build that buffer. And when we get to the point where, everything is fine, I'll just move them back together. And with Fidelity, they won't have to sell any of my position. They will just move that account together, because it's not like it's a Roth or none of that stuff. They're just gonna transfer everything from this account to the other account, and they don't have to sell no fractional share, none of that stuff. That's why I love Fidelity. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love Fidelity, because they make things so easier. They make things so easy, man, to do. The one thing that I've been trying to get them to fix, they won't fix. But maybe like I said, when I get back, I need to get on a call to see if they can work on that. Because if they can work and fix some of those little things, then I think everybody else will be showing their Fidelity account. But it is what it is, guys. Okay, guys, remember, right? This is not financial advice. Today is Sunday, and I have my little story to share with you guys. And of course, I know somebody like Edwin, but why you just didn't buy the stuff? Why you took the chance the second time? Because I found the information. So I decided, you know what? Maybe lady luck is on my side. But sometimes when things go wrong, they go wrong across the board. We just have to make it work. And that's exactly what I did. I managed it. I made it work to get to where we are today. Okay, guys, I'm back in Cartagena. I'm going to be here till Tuesday. I'm going to we're going to Bogota on Tuesday, then Bogota, Villavicencio. And then hopefully Tuesday night or Wednesday, I'm going to see my baby girl. And then Thursday, we're going to be on the plane back over here. And I started this thing with her that every month on her birthday, not the actual birthday, but on the day that she was born, which is the 4th of that month, we get to have cake. So on the 4th, which is Friday, the day before we go back to the US, we're gonna have cake. And then when we get back, right, the next month, we're gonna have cake, but we're gonna have cake with other people around and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do it at the daycare. I'm not sure what we're gonna do it, but either be at the house with a bunch of other kids running around, and we're just gonna have cake. And this is something we're gonna do every month until she's 100 years old. Until she said, "Daddy, can we stop doing that?" Like her sister did. Can we stop doing that? I don't want to do that no more. Then we stop. You know. Until then, we're gonna continue to do it, right? Because we can, and that's what we decide to do. Guys, I love you guys. Okay, happy investing. Okay, don't give up. Right? I saw one of the guys who posted in the comments, "Hey, you got off margins." Yes, margins is okay when the market is good, but when the market is not good, margin is not good. And like right now, the way the year opened up, is no way you could see like, oh, okay, well, things is gonna go crazy, but it happened. So there's no excuse, right? We just gotta handle things the way they are, and go for the best, right? And try to make money. That's all we can do. And anything else is, like I say, it's uncivilized. All right, guys. Peace out. We'll do this again tomorrow. The cars are honking the horn is annoying. So I don't know if you guys can hear or not, but we'll do this tomorrow. Peace out. Bye.